Are you sure you want to know what lurks underneath the surface of 2025's forgotten horror? Before you answer, listen. Most people think they want to hear scary stories until they hear the wrong one. The kind that sticks to you, the kind that feels like it was written with you in mind. These are not the overrated tales cluttering every corner of the internet. These are the ones best left to sink in the depths, the ones that don't get told at sleepovers or swapped around campfires. Not because people haven't heard of them, but because the ones who have usually wish they hadn't. You're here because you're curious. I get it. Curiosity cuts deeper than fear sometimes. Or maybe you think you're brave. Maybe you think you've heard it all. But let me be clear. The greatest terrors of 2025 have nothing to do with jump scares or cheap gore. They're quieter than that slipping through the cracks of ordinary life, following you from your headphones into the spaces you thought were safe. These stories don't just unsettle, they change something. Leave a mark inside, a flicker in the corner of your eye that never fully fades. If you thought last year's Red Room story was unsettling, you haven't heard this. Right now, maybe you're sitting in your room with the door locked. Maybe you've got your lights dimmed just enough to feel comfortable, but not quite safe. Maybe you're listening with one earbud in, keeping the other ear free for the sounds in your house. Good instinct. You might want to check the time. Most people click away before they reach this part. But not you, right? You're here for what comes next, for the stories that almost nobody talks about, that seem to disappear as quickly as they show up. Stories that feel more like warnings than entertainment. The kind that reflects something back at you, something you almost recognize. There's a reason some stories go untold. Maybe it's superstition. Maybe it's something worse. All I know is, by the time you realize you don't want to know, it's too late. So, if you're brave enough or foolish enough to keep going, just remember, only the fearless finish this video. The rest? Let's just say not everyone makes it all the way through. Ready to prove which one you are? Picture this. A lazy drizzle taps against your bedroom window. The glow from your monitor paints the walls a soft, electric blue. There's an untouched mug of coffee cooling beside your mouse, steam still swirling in the gentle air. You're wrapped, maybe in a favorite hoodie or a blanket you forgot you even liked, feeling strangely content. Your phone buzzes, a familiar notification, some meaningless update, a friend's meme, another missed call from a number you don't recognize. Everything feels manageable. In these quiet moments, the world feels miles away. Safe, even. You hit play without thinking. One eye on the clock, counting down the time until sleep, just letting the content wash over you. The rain becomes background noise. The hum of the city, the low murmur of a neighbor's TV, lull you into that rare sense of being completely, comfortably alone. But this is where the cracks start to show. It's always like this, isn't it? The moments when you relax, let your guard down. These are the times when the things that slip through the cracks finally get your attention. I want you to remember exactly how you feel right now. Warm, safe, maybe a little bored. Because tonight, you'll learn what these peaceful moments are hiding. The stories you're about to hear didn't just happen out in the wild places, the haunted woods, the rundown towns. They started somewhere just like this, normal, predictable, comfortable, until someone noticed what was hiding behind the ordinary. It started so small, I almost forgot about it. You know how you get those random calls at night, spam, wrong numbers, maybe someone butt dialed you from across the world? At first, that's exactly what I thought it was. The first call came at 2:41 a.m., just as I was drifting off. My phone lit up on the nightstand, vibrating, the jarring buzz cracking the silence. No caller ID. I squinted at it, rolled my eyes, and let it ring out. I didn't even bother to listen to the voicemail, if there was one. The next night, it happened again. 2:41 on the dot. My phone buzzed silently, the screen glowing in the dark. I picked it up, not out of curiosity, but out of pure irritation. I answered with a sleepy, hello, dead air. Only static on the other end, soft and distant, like standing outside in a thick fog. I waited, cleared my throat, tried again. Nothing. I hung up and figured some robocall system was glitching, recycling the same number at the same time. It's stupid, but for a few days it became a weird bedtime ritual. 2:41 a.m. came. My phone rang. I ignored it. If this has happened to you, you know it's annoying, never quite threatening. Not at first. But then something changed. On the fourth night, I answered as soon as it rang, ready to snap at whoever was behind this. Can you stop calling me? I hissed. There was a long pause. And then, through the static, I heard my name. Not just hello, no, my actual name, in a voice I hadn't heard in years. It was Sarah's voice. I froze, suddenly ice cold. Sarah, who died 5 years ago, car accident, funeral I barely remember. My voice cracked. Who is this? The voice wavered, so soft I almost thought I'd imagined it. Don't go outside, she whispered. Something about the way she said it made me almost laugh, like she was telling a joke only I would get. But then the static rose, drowning out her words, and the call ended. Next night, 2:41 a.m. This time, I stared at the phone for a full minute before I answered. Sarah? The response came quicker. You need to listen this time. Panic, sharp and metallic, seeped into my chest. Don't go outside. Not tonight. Please. He's upset you didn't answer before. I bit my tongue hard enough to taste blood. My mind tried to explain. Wrong number, prank, deep fake, something. But every time, it was the exact same memory-worn inflection, the lisp Sarah had when she got nervous. Who's upset? I breathed, breathing on the other end. Then, a new voice, a deep, ragged whisper. You shouldn't have picked up. My pulse rattled up my neck. For a week, it went on. Each night, the same time. Sometimes it was Sarah, sometimes the static, sometimes that other voice, distorted, angry, as if it lived inside the machine. The messages started to warp, until they were less warning, more threat. You'll be next, the voice crackled one night. Another, you belong to us now. I started sleeping with the ringer off, volume all the way down, phone buried under blankets. Still, though, I'd wake at 2:41. Every time. One night I snapped. I screamed into the phone, dared whoever or whatever was calling me to show themselves. I know you're not real. Leave me alone. The line hissed, loud and electric. My dead friend's voice, impossibly sad, replied, They know you're listening now. Then, nothing. Just silence that pressed in on me, thick and smothering. The day after, my doorbell rang for the first time in weeks. I crept to my peephole. No one was there. Only my front steps, empty in the blue light. Down the street, every porch lamp flickered out one by one. I didn't dare go outside. Now, the calls have stopped. For now. But sometimes, when I'm telling this story, I get a tingle in my spine at exactly 2:41 a.m. I keep my phone on just in case it rings while I'm talking to you right now. And if you hear a faint static in the background, maybe you'll know what it's like to feel the past reaching straight through the glass and wire. Pause for a second. Be honest, have you ever gotten a call like that? Dead air, a familiar voice, something you can't explain? Or maybe you just tell yourself it's a glitch. I did too, until I couldn't. Go ahead, check your call history. I'll wait. Still here? Not bad. Most don't make it this far. Maybe you're not easily scared, or maybe you're just stubborn, or maybe you know something the rest of us don't. I'm always a little impressed by the people who keep going. Every so often, I read the comments. Did anyone else's lights flicker during the last story? Or, is the 241 Club meeting here tonight? If you know, you know. There's a kind of badge of honor in sticking it out, right? Like, if you're still watching, maybe you're immune to the usual tricks, or maybe you're just hoping to find that one story that finally gets under your skin. Trust me, I'm looking for it too. Thinking about a bathroom break? I'd say go for it, except, honestly, it's darker down the hall, isn't it? You're safer here. Or at least you were. If you're feeling brave, don't go anywhere. The next story is the one people warned me not to tell, the one that made even the skeptics stop laughing. So if you value sleep, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't keep watching. But if you do, well, you won't want to miss what comes crawling out next. Confession, I'm not much of a people person. That's probably why college housing was such a nightmare. I kept to myself, made small talk with neighbors if I had to, and pretended to be deep in a podcast whenever I went through the laundry room. But the rent on my new place, a low-slung house half a mile off campus, was just barely manageable on one condition. I had to share it with a roommate. All I knew about them was a name Eli and that they worked nights. My landlord said Eli handled their half of rent online, quiet, responsible, hardly ever home. I moved in on a Wednesday. The first 3 days felt like nothing special: boxes in the hall, ramen for dinner, textbooks and playlists echoing in the empty rooms. Sometimes at 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear the front door creak quietly, footsteps on the hardwood, or the shower starting up. But every morning, the other bedroom door was closed, silent, and by midday, I'd usually convince myself there was nobody else living with me at all. One night, Shuffling to the bathroom with a half-dead phone, I saw a light under Eli's door. I almost knocked, but stopped myself, listening as muffled voices, maybe just one voice, drifted behind the seams. I heard my own name. I froze, suddenly wide awake, telling myself I misheard. The next morning, 2 mugs sat in the sink. I hadn't used either. A towel I didn't recognize hung beside mine. Toothpaste in the shared bathroom was squeezed from the middle. Who does that? Tiny things. All the time, my phone charger missing and reappearing on the wrong side of my bed. Shoes nudged just out of line. The fridge always 1 yogurt short. My friends laughed it off. Classic roommate, Tasha said, grinning at her phone screen. Give it a month, you'll be swapping horror stories about who left the toilet seat up. But something felt wrong, like I was sharing space with a stranger I never even glimpsed. I sent Eli a text. Hey, maybe we could coordinate groceries or something? No reply. Days rolled by. Always the same pattern. I'd fall asleep to the quiet, wake to fresh signs, lights left on, doors unlocked, silverware rattling in the drawers. Once, I left a post-it on Eli's door. Hi, I exist. Let's introduce ourselves. Next morning, the note was gone. Left in its place was a sticky shadow on the paint, as if something damp had pressed against it in the dark. After midterms, the weirdness grew. The lock stopped working right. Sometimes, coming home late, I found the front door wide open. Our kitchen got colder. Somehow, no matter how I adjusted the thermostat, a chill clung to the tile, pulling at my ankles when I tiptoed to the fridge at night. One evening, someone knocked quick, desperate, then gone before I reached the door. When I checked the peephole, nobody was outside. But I heard footsteps moving away, which should have been comforting. Only, I realized, halfway through my next sentence, I couldn't tell if they'd been moving away or toward the back of the house. One night, around 1:30, I needed water. I deliberately didn't check Eli's door. I just floated between sleep and waking, passing through the narrow dark hall. At the end, I saw a reflection in the bathroom mirror, tall, blurred, something that barely looked human standing just behind me. It hovered at the edge, indistinct, a breath that didn't belong. I spun, and of course, nothing was there. My heart hammered against my ribs. The air felt wet and sharp, like breathing through ice. I started to take stock, checking for evidence that anyone lived there with me. I scoured the lease, combed through payment receipts. All my utilities, all my emails, my name stood alone. I called the landlord, voice shaking. You're sure Eli's still paying their half? The landlord hesitated. Oh, they handle it through never mind. You two get along fine, I lied. That's when the dream started. I'd find myself walking through the house at night, drawn to Eli's door. In the dreams, it always stands open, and a shape sits on the bed, flickering and stuttering like bad webcam footage. It watches me with a face I can't see. Every time, it whispers, "We're here now," and I wake gasping, tasting metal. The next real moment, the one that broke me, was so simple. Brushing my teeth, I looked up, and there, in the mirror, Eli stood behind me, just a fraction out of sync with the movement of the room. A pale, shifting shadow. By the time I turned, nothing. My toothbrush trembled in my fist. Eli, I croaked. A whisper tickled my ear. You saw me. That was the last night I slept. I started leaving the lights on. I talked to the empty air, testing, Eli, you home? Sometimes, the pipes rumbled in reply, or the shadows pulsed a bit nearer. More than once, I caught glimpses of movement in dark. Glass screens, mirrors, even my phone's black reflection. I wish I could tell you it ended. Eventually, I stopped paying attention. Stopped trying to figure out if I was alone. Rent is cheaper now miraculously. The landlord doesn't ask questions and the other room stays locked. But at night, I still hear Eli moving in the dark. Or maybe it's just the house remembering them. Either way, every now and then, I wake to soft laughter echoing under my door. And in the reflection, sometimes, I see a second face just for a moment, before I remember to stop looking. So, tell me, how well do you know the person on the other side of your locked door? You know, there's a pattern to these things. Have you ever noticed that some stories never go viral, no matter how chilling or well told? There's a reason for that. Some tales are quietly buried, left to rot in old forum threads, erased from message boards, or lost in the cracks of server downtime. I've seen it happen, posts vanishing, entire accounts locked out for daring to share a piece of something bigger, something that doesn't want to be traced. Every so often, I get cryptic DMs, no context, just a warning. Be careful what you read. Not all stories want to be told. Sometimes I wonder if anyone else gets them, or if I'm just the next unlucky messenger. There are dark places online where people speak in code, swapping stories behind layers of encryption, sharing screenshots that corrupt the moment you try to save them. The kind of secrets that, once spoken aloud, seem to call something's attention. So, before you share this video, just remember, some listeners end up noticing things, strange messages, odd glitches, patterns cropping up in all the wrong places. Maybe it's just rumors. Or maybe you're about to find out what happens when you look where you shouldn't. Ready to go deeper? The next story is the reason some people wish they'd never hit play. If you were around certain corners of the web in the spring of 2025, maybe you saw it, a single thread that kept resurfacing on backwater message boards and old chat apps, copied and pasted with different usernames, but always the same headline. The 3 a.m. challenge, play at your own risk. The rules were cryptic. The post would appear, gain a few dozen nervous replies, and then disappear by sunrise. Some said the thread was a joke, a digital urban legend for insomniacs and thrill seekers. Others whispered it was bait for something that didn't want to be found. I should have known better. But it was 2:52 a.m., I couldn't sleep, and the glow of my screen made everything else in my apartment feel smaller, less real. So when the thread appeared for me, anonymous, who wants to play? 8 spots. 3 a.m. only. Log in. Stay until sunrise. No skipping steps. Winner gets out first. I hit reply before I could talk myself out of it. The game began with a private chat invite. I clicked, and suddenly I was in. A black background window. Usernames flickering at the top. Awake 86, Gone Caller, Binary Angel, me, Ghost Keys, and 4 more whose handles kept changing as if something was editing them live. The challenge itself was simple: complete a series of prompts, every hour on the hour, until dawn. Easier said than done. 3 a.m. prompt, share your biggest fear. Awake 86, heights, ever since that elevator dream. Gone Caller, losing memories. Binary Angel, I'm afraid this isn't a game, lol. Me, Ghost Keys, public speaking. The others followed. Fire, spiders, loneliness, the dark. Simple, even mundane, until someone else typed. Unknown, I know what you're lying about. No user attached to it. The text just appeared, gray and cold on the screen. Binary Angel, who typed that? Awake 86, not me. Me, Ghost Keys, is this a mod? No answer. For a minute, the chat froze, before flickering back to life. 4 a.m. prompt. Upload a photo of the room you're in, right now. At this point, nerves and curiosity wrestled in my chest, but I turned my webcam toward the hallway. Everyone else's photo. Loaded messy desks, snoring family members on couches, an empty kitchen somewhere. Gone Caller, why is there a face in your pic? Ghost Keys, I jerked, heart hammering, but the camera was just pointed at the open door behind me. I saw nothing. Someone else's photo, Binary Angel, just showed a blank screen, static crawling across it. Then, _unknown, not everyone will see sunrise. 5 a.m. prompt, call out another player by their real name. The chat erupted with confusion. We didn't know each other. We barely used our real names, even in private. Then, as if on cue, a new message appeared. Unlisted user. My actual name redacted. You're next. My fingers felt unreal. I typed a response, but it glitched, became unreadable. Me, Ghost Keys, this isn't funny. Who is this? Awake 86. I didn't type that. Gone Caller. What is happening? Binary Angel left the chat just like that. No sign, no warning. Their username flickered, then vanished as if they'd never been there. The chat was silent, hovering like a held breath. 6 a.m. prompt. Wait. Do nothing. Don't close this window, or you lose. That's when the posts started disappearing one by one, not just in our chat, but in the whole forum. I tried opening a second tab to message a friend, but every page returned the same error. 403 forbidden. Access denied. I thought about my apartment, about the faint creak of old pipes in the walls, or the distant rise of sirens outside. Every digital clock I could see ticked forward, each minute dragging longer than the last. Finally, only 2 users remained, me and Awake 86. Awake 86, something's wrong. My lights keep flickering. Me, Ghost Keys, me too. My phone just powered off on its own. Then, _unknown. If you're still here at sunrise, you win. If not, you join us. 6:37 a.m. My webcam activated, red indicator blinking unprompted. The chat filled with static, letter by letter, until I could barely read the final message. _unknown. Congratulations. You made it to morning, but there's a price for looking where you shouldn't. Log off or log in forever. The window closed on its own. My browser history wiped. I tried searching for the board, the thread, anything, nothing. Only broken links and a vague ache behind my eyes. For weeks, I'd find random glitches, alarm clocks resetting, shadows in the corner during video calls, my name whispered in feedback over speakers. I saw another post about the 3 a.m. challenge once, then it vanished again. No one could find the board anymore, or they're not talking. So here's the challenge for you. Listener, can you find it? Leave a comment if you do, or if you spot a username from the story somewhere you shouldn't. Just don't be surprised if the next time you log in, someone's already waiting for you. Good luck logging off. You'd be surprised what gets left in the comments after a story like that. Sometimes it's all jokes and emojis, people flexing that nothing gets to them. Other times, the messages are stranger. Here's a few I pulled from beneath stories like this. Maybe you'll see your own words reflected back. Anyone else get chills at 3 a.m. exactly? My apartment buzzer went off halfway through. Tell me that's normal. I swear I played a game like that in 2022. Still have the username burned into an old notebook. Mine ended differently. This gives me keyhole vibes. Remember that one? If you know, you know. Eyes everywhere. Calling it. Opie is making this up, but why did all the comments about the 3 a.m. board just vanish? I saw at least 5 before they disappeared. Now me going to check my closet again. Thanks for that. I live alone, but I just heard something move behind me. Gonna pretend it's the cat I don't have. This community is wild. Let's have a ghost keys roll call. Who else made it past the third tale? Some read like warnings, others like inside jokes. But all of them prove you're not really alone here, even when you want to be. And if you think those stories were unsettling, the next one is the one people write to me about at 2 a.m. Their messages full of typos and shaky hands. Some say it's the one that made them stop watching for good. Ready? The house at the end of the week awaits. When I first moved into 37 Brewer Lane, I thought I'd finally lucked out a rental with old bones, but all the updates, tucked quiet and square at the end of a sleepy suburban street. The porch was wide, the walls thick, enough space so you could pretend the rest of the world didn't exist. It was my first real home, grown up and alone, and for the first week, I did all the things you're supposed to do. I took long, aimless walks around the block. I unpacked in a haze of cardboard and vanilla-scented cleaning wipes. I hung up new curtains, bought cheap wine, and watched the sun sink behind crooked trees. Little rituals, mundane, comforting, proof that I was finally starting over. The first weird thing was so subtle that I almost missed it. Sunday night, I went to bed with my phone on the nightstand and a pile of clothes by the door. A mess, but my mess. When I woke up, the dresser had moved 3 inches to the left. All the clothes were folded and stacked on top. The sheets were tucked so tightly it looked military, not my doing. My toothbrush stood up straight in a cup, the paste squeezed clean. It felt like the house itself was gaslighting me, tidying up behind my back. I convinced myself it was just me being tired, or maybe an old cleaning lady ghost with not much else to haunt. By Wednesday, the shower curtain was a different pattern, faded blue stripes instead of gray. The kitchen clock had reset. The fridge hummed at a lower, almost purring frequency, soothing but offbeat. Every Thursday, the attic door I never dared open creaked open an inch wider, then shut again by morning. I started taking note of these changes, half amused and half unsettled. Maybe it's just settling, I joked to my empty living room. Houses do that, right? Saturday nights became the worst. I'd lie in bed, heart thumping with the sense that something was about to shift, like a storm poised to break. It always happened at the very first hour of Sunday. A deep reverberation through the walls, as if all the wood and copper pipes groaned together in concert. Sometimes, at the edge of sleep, I'd hear voices, not the ordinary kind, but a hush of conversations layered over each other, drifting behind the drywall. Once, I recognized my own name, whispered in a tone that ached with pity. I started searching the house, room by room. In the guest bedroom, a set of family photos on the dresser blinked at me. The faces blurred, then sharpened. Sometimes the people changed, different hairstyles, swapped outfits, as if rotating out for someone else. The attic stairs, splintered and steep, were icy to the touch no matter how warm the rest of the house got. From below, I'd swear I heard someone pacing up there, slow and measured, pausing as I held my breath at the bottom step. After 3 weeks, the cycle became impossible to ignore. Every Sunday, the whole house reset. No matter what mess I made or how many lights I left on, by Monday morning, everything was ordered, cabinets rearranged, furniture just off where I'd put it, subtle changes I could feel, but not quite prove. I left sticky notes. Stop. Who are you? They always vanished. Once, a note came back, rewritten in neat, slanted black ink. Are you sure you want to know? I tried to ask the neighbors, but most just shrugged. Brewer Lane was the kind of street where people kept to themselves, faces appearing only at garbage pickup or late-night mail runs. I did notice, though nobody else on my block had moved in or out in years. Their houses always looked static. The 4th Sunday was when I finally met the caretaker. He appeared at dusk, standing at the foot of my porch, his coat zipped to the chin, hands tucked deep in his pockets. He spoke first, voice smooth as new. Wallpaper. Settling in all right? He asked. His eyes were the color of faded wallpaper, too. Almost familiar, almost nowhere. Are you the landlord? I asked, a joke that didn't land. Things change on their own here. He smiled thin, apologetic. You notice fast. Most don't. First thing you should know, the house likes order. Second thing, you're not the first. He looked away, glancing up at the attic window. Every 7 days, it takes stock. It likes to be remembered. It doesn't like being out of routine. I shivered. Is there anyone else? Left behind, his answer was a pause. Then, ever hear footsteps when you shouldn't? Those are the tenants who missed their week. I tried to laugh, but it died in my throat. What happens if I don't keep up? Or if I leave? He hesitated. You don't leave. Not really. Only way out is to see the week through every week. Miss a cycle, and the house keeps you. Not just in memory. You become part of the next rebuild, someone else's photos, a voice behind the walls. Suddenly, I remembered the shifting faces in the photo frames, the voices in the walls. A cold certainty washed over me. I'd heard those footsteps in the attic. I wasn't alone, and never had been. The caretaker tipped his head, almost a bow. You should get inside. Sunday's almost here. I blinked, and he was gone, leaving only footprints in the dew. That night, I tried to stay awake during the shift. The air thickened as midnight bled out, the world outside flattening to a single tone, like the static between radio stations. The house rattled with new weight, a pulse in the pipes, the slow scrape of something moving through the walls. My phone died, clocks flickered, and doors I'd locked swung wide. I smelled bleach and old flowers, felt hands smoothing my blankets as I fought not to sleep. I awoke to a new house yet again. The walls gleamed brighter, as if freshly painted. My own stuff rearranged. The photos on the dresser now flickered with faces I half recognized from dreams. I barely dared breathe. In the kitchen, another note, this time in crisp handwriting I'd never seen. Weekly tenants reunite. Don't miss your turn. Now I know every 7 days. The house at the end of the week remakes itself, remembering who stayed and who was careless enough to forget. I do what I can to remind it. I'm still here, straighten a picture, say goodnight to the empty rooms, leave a cup of tea on the counter for the voices upstairs. I don't know what would happen if I missed my week, and I'm not sure I want to. All I know now is that I'm caught in the cycle, pulled deeper each Sunday by a house that remembers more about me than I'll ever know about it. So, if you ever find yourself at the end of a quiet street, moving into a home with a perfect dent in the couch and just enough closet space for one, be careful how soon you settle in. Especially if the house seems to tidy itself. Because if you miss a week, if you forget to play along, you might never leave. And if you do, the next tenant will hear you in the attic, just like I hear those who came before me. Go ahead, listen for yourself. Do you feel your space shifting already? Or is it just your imagination? Either way, Sunday night always comes. You checked your locks before you hit play tonight, right? Don't worry, most people do. Maybe you even looked over your shoulder when the last story paused for a breath. But just in case, maybe give it a second glance. Sometimes, it's the little details that matter. The extra set of footsteps when you're supposed to be home alone, or the reflection that lags half a heartbeat behind your own. I always say these are just stories, dark comfort on a slow, sleepless night. But then, every so often, I get a message from someone who swears something changed after they listened. The door they locked twice, somehow opened by morning. The cat fixating on a corner, eyes wide, tail puffed. A shadow on the wall that stretches a little too far. Maybe it's just the power of suggestion, or maybe not. So, just between us, are you really alone? Or do you feel eyes on you right now just out of sight, waiting for you to look up from your screen? These stories have a habit of slipping past the borders of fiction and finding cracks in the everyday. If anything strange has happened since you started watching, tell me. Drop it in the comments, compare notes, if you dare. Sometimes, the scariest moments are the ones we share without even meaning to. Just don't be surprised if the shadows seem a little heavier and the silence a little less empty tonight. I never used to think twice about hitting subscribe. Algorithms, recommendations, it's all background noise now, right? But one night while spiraling through horror videos at 2 a.m., I stumbled across a channel I'd never seen before. No name, just the icon, a glitching, static-filled eye. No ads, no social links, just hundreds of videos uploaded at irregular hours, each one labeled only with a date and time. Some had views in the single digits, some just one, me. It started innocently enough, a video called "This Is Not a Warning." The host sounded unsettlingly like my own voice, subtle, ordinary, as if narrating straight from inside my head. The content? Strange, incomplete tales that always seem to trail off mid-sentence, leaving you to fill in the blanks with your own fears. The kind of puzzles that seed themselves in your subconscious and bloom when the lights go out. I scrolled down. The comments were a rabbit hole. Anyone else dream about the red window last night? If you hear your name at the end, DM me. Don't look outside. Rule number 3, never listen alone after midnight. My roommate disappeared after breaking it. I tried to reply. Every time I posted, my message glitched, vanished, or came back rewritten. New listener registered. Welcome to the pact. My phone buzzed with a DM from someone called Null Voice. Null Voice, read the rules. Only true subscribers stay safe. Share the story, or keep it to yourself forever. But whatever you do, don't unsubscribe. I laughed, but curiosity, or hubris, made me check the About section. It was a list, short and scratchy, that shifted when I blinked. Don't listen with both headphones in. If you hear static, pause immediately and count to 7. Never unsubscribe until you finish the cycle. If you see yourself in the reflection, stop watching. Warn the next person. Paranoia bloomed. I was already deep into the archives before I realized every story somehow echoed my life, places I'd lived, objects I recognized, even names of old friends layered under the static like ghosts in the mix. Sleep got harder, my dreams tangled and overgrown with images I couldn't explain, an open mouth in my closet door, passwords melting into blood, a hand pressing against my window from the inside. Then came the hallucinations, or maybe just the suggestion of them. Phones ringing at the hour the video ended, flickers of faces in dark glass, emails from blank senders with my own username in the subject line. Even the comments changed. New viewers hinted at the pact, cryptic warnings traded like desperate prayers in a haunted digital cathedral. One night, in the raw haze of dawn, I dared ask in the comments, what happens if you break a rule? Only seconds later, a reply blitzed in final notification. Cycle reset. You are no longer alone. My subscriber number glitched, ticked up, then down. I tried to leave, to unsubscribe, but every click only refreshed the page with another layer of corrupted warnings. The screen pulsed red and black, displaying a message, last chance. Don't look away. Someone else is watching now. The DMs, once slow and strange, now poured in. Loop Watcher 86. I unsubscribed. Heard knocking for 7 nights straight. Now it's coming from inside my closet. Mirror error. Only true subscribers see the secret uploads. You're chosen now. Don't break the chain or you disappear from everywhere. Friends, feeds, photos, they forget you were ever here. I stared at the screen and felt the skin on my arms crawl. Was it an ARG, some viral experiment, or something older, hungrier, lurking in between code and story? The channel appeared in my recommendations again and again, even after I deleted my watch history, even when I borrowed someone else's device. It's like it knew who I was before I did. Some nights, I play the videos just to see what will happen, and the stories adapt, shifting with my fears, my choices, my secrets. After a while, that's what scares me the most. Not the ghosts, not the warnings, but how much the channel knows about me. About all of us. Here's the truth. If you've heard this much, you're in the pack now. The algorithm doesn't care about the brave or the cautious, only the curious. Don't break the chain. Stay with me, keep this story alive. Comment, share, warn others if you want to sleep easy. Just remember, whatever you do, don't unsubscribe. Because sometimes, the viewer disappears, but the story keeps going. And it always needs a new narrator. So, who's next? You made it. If you're still here, I have to admit I'm impressed. Or maybe a little concerned. Remember how this all began. I warned you, some stories are better left untold. Most people click away before the final line, convince themselves it's all just fiction, just internet smoke and mirrors. A few, like you, let the stories in anyway. By now, you've heard about the calls after midnight, the roommates who don't cast shadows, the games you can never really quit, the houses that remember you longer than anyone else, and the pact you joined without ever hitting agree. Maybe you're feeling brave. Maybe you laughed at the scary bits, rolled your eyes at the warnings. But the thing about stories, especially the ones that are meant to be forgotten, is that they rarely stay trapped on a screen. They linger, echo, twist the corners of your mind when the lights go out. If you felt a chill, heard a stray noise just now, or caught your reflection acting strange, you're in good company. There's a reason this community exists. There's a reason you're here, beyond simple curiosity. So, if you survived, leave a sign, share a theory, your own brush with the unknown, or just a comment telling me you made it through. Let the others know you're still out there. For those who want to go back, I wish you luck, but some doors don't close once opened. For everyone else, thanks for staying with me until the end, if anyone is still watching. Now, if you make it to morning, feel free to tell me what you dreamed about tonight. If not, well, I guess you'll be missed too. Keep your lights on, check your locks, and remember, not all goodbyes are permanent in the stories that matter. Until next time, or until the next round begins. Sleep tight if you can.